Watching live today. We're going live on Amazon Live in approximately 47 seconds, and I'm just waiting to hear from my iPad. So let's have a look at the iPad and go to preview, and it says that I can go live. So if we can't sort of go for 25 seconds. So I'm just waiting, and then I'm going to press go live, because the thing is, I don't want too much of the countdown clock showing on Amazon Live. So it's only got 18 seconds to go, and we'll be live on Amazon Live, live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and we can start the live broadcast. You're actually looking out of my window at the moment into the neighbour's gardens, because I can't get the angle to get my garden. And the camera that's doing this, we'll be talking about later. It's the Obosbot 4K camera. This is my phones are going lights, camera, action. We're talking about webcams, microphones, audio gear, live video, and Fitbits, which is the action part of it. And we're talking about the Fitbit Inspire during the course of this broadcast, and come back to me as we leave windy Wiltshire behind. Hello, and welcome to this live broadcast on Amazon Live and on Facebook and on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook and YouTube, there's a link up above in the description, in the show description, which will bring you over to Amazon, which will give you the Amazon Live experience, because it's different from YouTube and from Facebook in that you can actually see the carousel, which is down below me. So when I talk about an item, just let me paste this here. Just a minute. I just need to copy it again. Copy the link, come back to my studio, paste the link, and press connect. So my BeLive studio is now connected to Amazon. Today I am broadcasting on, wait for it, Amazon Live, wherever you see, well, I'm on Amazon Live with BeLive. Wherever you see that sign, it's be.live, and be.live is my preferred place to broadcast from, to broadcast to Amazon Live. You're going to see a full demonstration of the system during the course of this broadcast, and I'll point out things as we go along. First thing is I can actually show a logo on screen. Okay, now the camera we're going to start off with today is down the carousel. Now the carousel down below me has got 40 different items in it. You can actually surf whilst I'm talking. You can look at any item. If you click the link in the carousel, it will take you to the Amazon.com page for that item. My phone's still bleeping, but hopefully you can't hear it. When you get to the Amazon.com page, it's the normal page. You can do everything you do normally. When you click link in the carousel, you're not saying I'll buy, you're saying I would like more information. And all the items in the carousel I know well. Over 75% of them I actually own. So I can actually show them to you whilst we're broadcasting and talk about them as well. So let's get going. Welcome to Broadcast with Stephen, live from England. And the broadcast is today, lights, camera, action with Stephen. And we're talking about everything to do with live broadcasting. Now, I started broadcasting 7 years ago, live broadcasting, even before Facebook Live came into being. So if you've got any questions about broadcasting, about anything in the carousel, do ask. This is an interactive show. So if you want to interact, please do. If you want to tell me where you're watching from, that would be very interesting, because I'm in Wiltshire in England, which a place called Devizes, town called Devizes, population 23,000, market town, 93 miles from London, and close to Stonehenge and Salisbury and Avebury, which we'll be mentioning throughout this broadcast. Now, I'm going to be talking about the items in the carousel, and the first one is to give you more information about every single item. So we're talking about Logitech Brio 4K webcam. Now, I'm broadcasting to you in 720, which is DVD quality, 1080 is HD quality, and 4K is through the roof. I got the Brio camera because I was intrigued by what this 4K was all about, and got the camera, plugged it in, plugs into PC and Mac, no problem at all, readily recognized, millions in use. And I took OBS, added my camera, set my destination to YouTube, and broadcast in 4K. That's easy. 3 steps and you're done. And the broad 4K, that's easy. 3 steps and you're done. And the broadcasting into 4K in 4K is quite an experience. The quality difference between 720, 1080 and 4K is night and day. It really is. The quality of the video is, well, you've got to see it to believe it. And I've done one, I'm going to do more. And as I do, I'll actually find some way of telling you. But if you go and search for me, and let's just take the logo off for a moment. If I go over here and take off the logo, then I can go here and I can put, wait a minute, that didn't work, did it? You'll find during this live broadcast that some things work, some things don't. And it's all about the operator. Let's take that logo off. And I want to put this on screen so that you've got a bit more information. So your host is Stephen Healy, live from England. We're talking about live broadcasting. Currently talking about Logitech Brio. We will be talking about this Samsung S22 Ultra as well. I want to say a big thank you for watching. I do appreciate you spending part of your day with me. And thank you for watching, and ask me if you've got questions. This is a free resource from Amazon. In other words, there's no cost to actually watch. There's no cost to click anything in the carousel. And whilst I'm live, there will be discounts available. And the first discount available today is the one on the Logitech Brio. And today it is 35% off. It's $130.94, which is a better price than I paid. But I've had mine for 2 years, not a problem with it. It works perfectly. And all I can say is it's sat on top of my monitor. It's just a steady workhorse. So I'm going to tell you a few things about it. Then I'm going to tell you about the software in about 2 or 3 minutes time, the software that you can download from logitech.com to control any of your Logitech cameras. And I'll also tell you why you should download the software. So let's take that off. Now, the webcam itself is Ultra 4K HD. So 4K, best resolution we as consumers can do. Yeah. Just stunning. As I said, if you broadcast to YouTube for free. It's got a noise cancelling microphone. This is important. Alexa, what's the temperature?
At the moment, it's 20 degrees Celsius. Tonight,
Alexa, stop.
You can expect.
Now that's round about 68 degrees Fahrenheit. 2 days ago, it was 95 degrees Fahrenheit. And everybody had their windows open, including our neighbours. And our neighbours are actually currently installing a bathroom. So every few minutes, you've got the sound of somebody hammering, drilling, sawing wood. And whilst I was broadcasting live, I heard everything. But because of the noise cancelling microphone, nothing appeared live. Okay, that's the benefit of noise cancelling. If your dog barks and you've got a noise cancelling microphone, only you will hear the dog. So that's the import of it. So noise cancellation for the win. Now, if I switch my light off, which is the Logitech Litra Glow light, which is down in the carousel, I'll go darker. Now you can still see me because of HD light auto correction, high definition light auto correction. What's actually happening is the camera is compensating for the lack of good lighting, which means you can't, it doesn't work at midnight, of course, when it's pitch black, but it does help during the course of the day. But I prefer, as I'm actually going to tell you about Logitech Litra Glow light, to switch my light back on. Okay, so where I'm lit by one light, solitary light, nothing else on, just one Logitech Litra Glow down the carousel. Now, the camera itself, the Logitech Brio camera, has a 90-degree field of view. And if I close those lenses for a moment, make it clearer, it's got a 90-degree field of view, which means it can see through that arc. Okay, now it can go 90, which is its widest, then it can go 78, then it can go 65. This is the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, which we'll talk about later, but it's a handy prop to have to actually show a 90-degree angle, better than trying to describe it. Now, also with the webcam, it's 4 times the resolution of a typical webcam. Most webcams are 1080p. Remember, 720, 1080. 1080 is standard resolution that everybody tries to use. The auto light correction we looked at a moment ago is actually called Right Light, proprietary to Logitech. Alexa, who are Logitech?
According to Wikipedia, Logitech International SA is a Swiss-American multinational manufacturer of computer peripherals and software, with headquarters in Lausanne, Switzerland, and Newark, California. The company has offices throughout Europe,
Alexa,
Asia,
stop.
Oceania.
Right, so with apologies for any mispronunciation, Logitech are a Swiss-American company based in Newark, California. And we say hello to Mr. Nick Wood. Hi, Stephen. Great to catch you live. Thank you, Nick. It's good to see you as well. Thank you for joining me. You see that the brick wall is back. Brick wall number 1. This is the first brick wall I had. I'll be talking about it later. But thank you to everybody who's watching live. And thank you, Nick, for commenting. If you comment on Amazon Live, I can show your comments in my studio. Now, it won't show your picture, but it will show your name and the comment. And the thing is that live video is recorded and lasts forever, and you'll be forever part of the video, as Nick is. And saying, Nick saying it is a nice wall. Yeah, you see how nice a wall it is in a minute, because we're getting to the moment where I actually tell all about my wonderful brick wall. Now, the camera has, as I said earlier, 90 degrees, 78 and 65 degrees. Now, there is some software which you can download, which I'm going to show you now. If I go here and I go screen share, okay, and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to take that piece of software. I've got 6 pieces of software to choose from, so I hope I'm choosing the right one. Okay, let's bring this into the show. It says shared screen, so theoretically, yeah. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, okay. This is a piece of software called Logitech Capture, a version of it. And Logitech Capture allows you to control any Logitech camera. It can control the C920, 922, 925, 930, and the Brio. All right, you know what this show's about. So I'm going to switch my camera on. Okay, and hopefully this will work. I'm back. Okay, so far so good. I'm going to switch the second camera off because we don't need that at the moment. I'm going to hide the show card. And then I'm going to go picture in picture. Well, actually, what I want to do is just change things. Just give me a second. Just want to set this up properly so that you get the full story. Right. So we're going to go, if I hide that, we are going to go side by side, he said. Okay. This is the software. Now, the software controls the camera, and I can go down, and you'll see me move. If I click the software, you'll see me go down. Okay, and back up again. I can go to the left, and I can go to the right. So those are the simple controls that I can use to control the software. Underneath, you'll see the field of view. Now, if I hit 65, you'll see that it zooms in. Too far for me. I'm happy with 78. But the major reason for getting the software is this. Nick has just pointed out that I have a nice wall behind me. So thank you for that, Nick. But that's only part of the story. I'm going to use the software now. Okay. And the software is on my desktop. I downloaded it from Logitech.com. It's called Logitech Capture. If I zoom out once, twice, and go to 90 degrees, this is what I actually look like. Not what you saw a moment ago. This is my office. You can see the bookshelf over there with all the books on it, including the German language books. You can see something we'll be talking about later, which is the Lapel Microphone. You can see everything's here to hand. You can see this from Treblab, which is the HD77, portable speaker, Bluetooth speaker, waterproof. It goes up to 11, absolutely beautiful speaker. But the thing about it is, if I didn't have the software, this is the default camera setting. Okay, so if you don't get the software, you will look similar to this. Okay, You will be center of screen because you position yourself center of screen, but you will see everything around you. Now, to my way of thinking, it's a reasonable look, but it removes all the, well, if I go like this and I zoom in once, twice, and I go to 78 degrees, this is how I prefer to broadcast, at 78 degrees, twice zoomed in, and there are no distractions. It's just me on screen talking about product. It's 80 degrees in my office at the moment. Right, it's okay. It was 95 the other day. This is basically a photography backdrop, which is down the carousel. We're still talking about the camera, but I just want to zoom along for a moment. Just give me a second, indulge me. Somewhere along here there it is. It's a photography backdrop. Okay. And I saw this brick wall and I thought, I'm going to have that. My good friend and fellow Amazon live broadcaster, Grant Saunders, was broadcasting and he had this wall. And I thought, I want a wall. I won't get the same wall, but I will get a wall. And what happened is that these are all photography backdrops. And if I zoom out again, yeah, you can see that it's actually on a stand now properly. Okay. And it's a backdrop. It's a photography backdrop. The thing about this is that there's so many millions of photographers around the world using backdrops. So when it comes to live broadcasting, we are spoiled for choice. And if you click the link in the carousel at the moment, which is for a photography backdrop, you can actually take a look, and there's so many to look at, and you can decide exactly what backdrop you're going to use. And because you've got the stand, okay, just a minute. That's the backdrop, okay, but you can see that it's hanging straight, and it's hanging straight because of, down the carousel now is the E-Mart T-shaped stand, which is 22% off, which again is less than I paid for it. But the thing about the stand is it's a T stand, so it's got one central stanchion, one central pole in the middle. And then it's got the bars across the top, and then you just hang the backdrop over the bars. And with help from your partner, in this case, Angelica, my partner, you can make sure you get the wall straight, because it's important to have a straight wall. You don't want a wall that's an angle. So the T stand that's down in the carousel at the moment doesn't take up any space, because it's not a stand which has got poles either side and a pole across. It's not like a goal, yeah. It's basically one pole in the center, strong enough to hold the bar onto which you clip the backdrop. And it's so easy to assemble that I did it. Okay. Now, as I say, there are zillions of backdrops you can actually choose from. And if you're broadcasting, and when I say broadcasting, I mean Zoom, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, the one way to actually get people's attention is to have a backdrop which covers up all the clutter. And you can, with 1, 2 zooms and a change of angle, get back to where you want to be. And you can look like you're in front of a backdrop, which changes the whole tenor of the show. Good backdrop is worth $15, and the ones down in the carousel are $15. The stand today, which is what I've just shown you, is $35.83, which is 22% off. So if you click the link in the carousel, if you're looking for a stand for your photography backdrop, then please do that now. There is behind this backdrop a green screen, but I can't use the green screen during a live demonstration on Amazon for the simple reason that if I showed you, as I will momentarily, this gimbal, this beautiful DJI OM5 gimbal, if I was using a virtual background, you wouldn't see that at all. It would be lost in the background. I've got to have a solid background, and the solid background I chose is the one that's down in the carousel. Yeah. If you're going to show a product, you can't use a green screen. You can't use a virtual background, because the item that you're talking about you have to have it there all the time. You couldn't put it over there, and you couldn't put it over there, because you'd actually tear the background. Just right. Okay. Right. We're on the. I digressed a moment, but I'm coming back now. Let's come back to where we were. To the first item in the carousel, so it's easy to jump back to. It is the Logitech Brio, $130.94. It is 35% off today. And if you're looking for a 4K camera of good quality, we just heard that Logitech are a Swiss-American company based in Newark, in the States, and they've produced millions of cameras, which have gone on to be bestsellers. Okay, back to the camera, webcam itself. So we've looked at the, oh, wait a minute. Okay, just while I'm here, if I go and just take that off for a second. If I go 90 degrees, you've seen this, sorry, if I go 65 degrees, I'm bigger on screen. So 65, 90, wider, 78 is in the middle. Yeah, so those are the three fields of view that this camera has. Now, the camera itself can do up to 90 frames per second. Okay. The way that works is simple and straightforward. The more frames there are being sent, the clearer the picture. And cinemas use a lot of frames per second. Basically, this looks, if I move my hands, you can see me. But what is actually happening is that my camera is taking, in our case, my camera is taking 30 frames a second, 30 pictures every second. And those 30 pictures are transmitted so that when they're replayed at their end, you can see me moving my hands. And it's very rare for me to move my hands on camera because I don't like doing it. So up to 90 frames per second. If you're using OBS and going to YouTube, then you can make use of that. Versatile mounting options. If I go here, and I know it looks like I know if I go here, yeah, and I go here and here, just let me turn something off, turn that off, and turn that off. You can either mount the Brio on top of your monitor, which I'll show you later, or you can mount it on a tripod. There is a tripod down in the carousel. Mounting on a tripod has benefits, one of which is you can set the lens to be at eye level, which means you can look straight into the camera without even trying. This is the OBSBot. We'll be talking about it later. It is a this one is a 1080p, and it's on a twin axis gimbal, and the rest is, I'll tell you in a moment. Right, continuing with the Logitech Brio, which you're watching, just to confirm, it is 4K on YouTube, 1080p or 720p. The camera was released on February the 7th, 2017. It's been updated since then. And the software I was showing you a moment ago, where I was doing this, is Logitech Capture. And Logitech Capture is free. Just go to logitech.com, search for Logitech Capture, download the software, and you will have control of your camera. Okay, I think oh, wait a minute. We've looked at the camera default settings. If you don't get the software, we've taken a look at my photography backdrop, and just a confirmation that I am broadcasting from BeLive. And that's it. That's basically the Logitech Brio camera. The thing about it is, though, that today it's on discount. It's $130.94. It's a 35% discount, which is a very good price. Not seen that for a while. So it's $130.94 as opposed to $199.99. In terms of the camera itself, I've had, just a minute, let's remove that. I've had the camera, Logitech Brio 4K webcam. I've had the camera for 2 years. I've not had a problem with it. It just works. It sits, this particular one sat on top of my monitor. I'm trying my best to actually look at the lens, so it looks like I'm looking at you. Logitech, well-respected brand. They're known for their cameras, 920, 22, 25, 30, Brio, and the 270. So They're known for their cameras and a good American brand. It is Ultra 4K HD, which is the reason that I actually got it. And it does have a noise cancelling microphone. So that's it. That is basically the Logitech Brio. The next item we're going on to is another camera. I can discard that because I'm going to stop sharing. Come to me. We're going to look at this camera. In fact, we're going to look at this very camera here. Okay. This is the Obspot Tiny 1080p. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to me. Okay. And I'm going to switch cameras on the other setup. So I'm going to go from the 4K camera to that camera. Hopefully this will work. I should be back in a second. I'm back and the camera's back. So I can go here. So on the left-hand side, you've got the Brio. And on the right-hand side, you've got the Obspot 4K. And I'm going to go picture in picture. Now, the Obspot 4K. Sorry, the Obspot. Here. We're talking about the Obspot Tiny PTZ camera, which is down in the carousel at the moment. And it is today a special price of $169, which is a saving of 15%. So it's 15% off this camera today. Now, more and more people are recommending the Obspot as a camera to use for live broadcasting. I'm just going to quickly show you why that is. Okay, so I'm going to hide that. So I'm still here. I'm going to shrink myself. Okay, so we're going to shrink here. And we're going to show you, first of all, the Obspot has 3 presets. Let's go to the first one. This is where it was supposed to be. Okay, and I just need to, wait a minute. Just a minute. That's not what I expected. Just a minute. For a demonstration, this is going rather well. Just a minute. Oh, good. Right. Okay, I'm about to give you a demonstration of how easy it is to actually control the camera. Okay, so we're going to go around and we're going to go to there and I'm going to click that and update. Okay, basically I must have destroyed the settings. So this is my monitor. And if I go down a bit, I'm using the 1080p to do this. If I just switch the light off for a moment, because it is a bit distracting. Okay, there you've got the Obspot 4K, which we'll talk about. There is the Brio that I was talking about a moment ago. And this is Logitech Litra Lite, which I was also talking about. This is a 27-inch BenQ monitor. The stand here is down in the carousel. That is a tablet stand and takes an iPad. And it's 5'6" high. You'll find it in the carousel. So if you want to broadcast from your iPad, that's the stand you want. It's in the carousel. But this is the BenQ monitor. And this is down the carousel too, and it's 27-inch. It is, in fact, a CAD monitor. So it's got very high definition. And you're actually looking at now, you're looking at my studio. So this is my live broadcasting studio. And you can see that I'm I'm trying to catch up. You can see a video I'm going to show you in a moment. You can see a card about the Samsung Galaxy S22. We're going to be talking about Logitech Litra Lite. So all my assets are down the bottom. And I'm going to be talking about the items as we progress with this live broadcast. So that's the first preset. And what I'm going to do, I just want to come down slightly, don't I? To actually get a bit more in. And I'm going to lock that. Update. Then I'm going to go outside. Now, I don't think this is going to go outside because, wait a minute. I think we're all right now. No, it's going to travel on. No. All right. Okay. It's all gone. Rubbish. So I'm going to go this way. Just a minute. You're seeing a live demonstration of controlling a camera. So I'm going to go here. Just give me a second. I need to do some alterations. I need to pull the curtain back. Okay. And then we can, it's actually too far forward. I don't want to destroy the office, but this is a possibility. Okay. You know, you set up things well in advance and then something happens. What I actually want to do is this. I want to go out into the garden and give you just a minute. You can have hours of fun actually doing this. And I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to go up again. And you can, I'm going to lock that in. Oh, I made a mistake. We're going to have to do that again. Oh, hours of fun. Let's go this way. You're seeing my office and stop. Okay, and I'm going to zoom in a bit. Okay, so you're actually looking out over the gardens, and I'm going to right click and update that. So first setting is the monitor, just to make sure that this is working now. Let's go around to the monitor. Perfect, that's how I left it. And then we've got outside. Okay, so the camera is adjusting outside, and you can see the camera is actually on a dual axis gimbal, which means that it can swivel through 180 degrees. It's not a static camera like the Brio. And then I'm going to go to me. Now, there's no way this camera is going to show me unless I make a change. So shall we try and find me? I'm over here. We want it to go, no, we want it to go this way around. Keep going. Oh, I want it to go that way around. Okay, and sorry for that. I want to go up, up, up. Just a minute. We'll get this in a second. Doing this live is not a good idea, I'll tell you. Nerve-wracking? No. Okay, and if I go slightly up, okay, and I'm going to lock that in. Right, okay, thank you for staying with me. Let's try again, shall we? Okay, this is the OBSBot, tiny 1080p, 720p. And the thing about it is that I've got this camera on a tripod, which means that the camera itself is at eye level. So I can ignore everything else and just look at the camera. And if I was broadcasting on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or Zoom, this is a great way to have your camera. Put it onto a tripod and just look into the lens. Forget all the distractions and just look into the lens. And it looks like you're talking to people in the call or on the broadcast. And it's illusion, but it works. Look into the camera and you're looking directly at the audience. Yeah. Now, if you use a camera that's actually based, I'm going to take my just a minute, I've got okay, if I go to the monitor, I'm going to go all the way around. Okay, here. It's going to get to the monitor in a minute. So it's got to the monitor. You can see if I go down or possibly up, and I'm going to lock that in place. Up, down. If I'm sat in front of the monitor and my camera is up there, yeah, I've got to look up to look at the camera. If the camera is directly in front of me, and okay, I'm trying to okay, I'm going to try and get to me. No, it won't go. Have you ever had one of those moments when everything goes wrong in a live demonstration? What I'm going to do, I'm going to continue the demonstration. I've actually unwittingly upset that camera. So I'm going to switch over to the 4K. Always have a plan B. Always have a plan B. So we're going to switch over to the 4K camera. And I'm going to tell you and redeem myself here. It has 3 presets. That's the desktop, that's the garden, and this is me. Hopefully you can still hear me. Okay, so the thing about the Opspot, is it has 3 presets. Both versions of the Opspot have 3 presets, which you can amend, as you've just seen a demonstration of. The Opspot in the carousel at the moment, $169, is 15% off. Now, it is an AI-powered framing and gesture control. It's a full 1080p webcam, and I'm zooming out for some reason. That was good. Just a minute. Something weird is happening. Okay, the camera appears to have got a mind of its own. Dual omnidirectional microphones. Yeah. No, it's got 90-degree wide angle. We talked about that earlier. It can actually see through 90 degrees. Yeah. So that's a wide arc for it to actually work through. It's got low light correction. I can explain that. If I switch my light on, yeah, this is me lit. If I switch the light off, then it will auto-correct. So you can still see me, but there is no lighting. And as soon as I put lighting on, you can see me clearly. And lighting is a very important part of any broadcast. It's an AI-powered PTZ camera, pan, tilt, and zoom. So pan, tilt, and zoom. Okay, PTZ. Privacy. Now, if I go here, this is one feature I do like. Note the Opspot tiny camera is there. If I press one button, just watch the top. The camera will go to sleep. A minute. Just a minute. If I touch one, oh, this is going swimmingly. If I touch one button, the camera will go to sleep. You see the lens close in on the body. That is total privacy. And I can bring it back again. Okay, by resuming. Okay. And I'm going to bring back to here. If I bring this back to me. Okay, so total privacy because the lens closes in on the body. That's the sleep mode that we're talking about. You can actually set it, if I don't use this camera for 5 minutes, switch it off. If I don't use it for 10 minutes, switch it off. You're in control. It's got the 3 preset positions, which we were talking about. On my second Opspot, I'm going to have to reset those. It automatically gives you headroom, which is important because in terms of framing yourself on camera, you need to have room at the top. Because when we actually watch somebody on a Zoom call or Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, and they're like this, or even worse, like this, then it's a bit disconcerting. So you need to have headroom. That's done automatically. The thing I love about the Opspot is they do upgrade the software on a regular basis. They upgrade the firmware that goes into the camera. They upgrade the application that I've been using to control it. Go to Opspot.com. You can download the software to actually control the cameras. It's got noise reduction on the mics, okay, and it's got a motion mode. Basically, it's got a fast motion mode, so it can actually track. If you're tracking somebody doing 100 yards, it will track. It's got AI tracking. Auto sleep we've already covered. It's on a 2-axis gimbal, and if you want to mount it on your desktop, it comes complete with a magnetic mount. This mount camera goes on there, and this goes over the top of your monitor, and there's an adhesive strip there, and it is locked then to the top of your monitor, your PC or Mac. Very secure. Okay, so that is the camera, and what I'm going to do now, given everything that's gone before, what I'm about to do now might be seen to be a little bit risky. And it surely is. but I'm going to do it anyway. Right. The thing about both OBSpots, and let's go to the OBSpot 4K, because that's what you're going to be looking at now. If I go here, you're actually watching the OBSpot 4K. The OBSpot, the original one is 2 times zoom, 1080p. The OBSpot 4K is 4 times zoom and 4K. Yeah, that's the way that it works. But the thing that sets the OBSpot apart from the cameras is, first of all, the 3 presets which you've seen, and then the second thing is, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to go for it. Okay, and that worked okay. So if I do this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push my chair back. Nothing spectacular there, but if I go here and I stand up, then what you'll notice, hopefully, is that the camera is actually tracking me. The camera, the OBSpot cameras, both of them, everything I tell you now is true of both cameras, has tracking software in, which means that it can track you as you move about. Okay, and as you move about the office, the camera will keep you center of screen and give you plenty of headroom. Yeah, it's just absolutely brilliant. If I go here just a second, obviously the camera's following everything that I do. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. Okay, and now we're going to go up. Okay, so that's better. Basically, the camera is tracking me everywhere that I go. Okay, you can also tell that the wall is not a wall. Yeah, it's a backdrop. Okay, but the camera is tracking my every movement, and this makes it a lot. Well, it gives it a different dimension. There's a difference between presenting stood up and presenting sat down. And if you're in a Zoom meeting and you're able to get the camera to track you, you can actually illustrate things as you're going along. You could draw on a whiteboard, and as you move along on the whiteboard, the camera will photograph you perfectly. It's ideal for situations where you are actually moving about. And notice it's giving me the headroom, it's tracking where I'm going. And as I come closer to the camera, I'm getting bigger, but everything is automatically sorted. Now, you know when a camera's arrived, when people start recommending it, and I've seen an increasing number of people actually recommending the OBSpot as the ideal camera to use on Zoom, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. It is different. It's different from the Logitech Brio, from the Elgato Facecam. It's different from every other camera because, as you saw a moment ago, it is actually, if I go here, I'm going to carry on talking. You see the camera still tracking me. But if I go here, the thing that makes it different, quite simply, and I'm sitting down again, is that the camera is on a, there's the lens, then you've got a twin axis gimbal, you've got the light there, and then, well, I explain the light in a minute, and then you've got the camera body. It plugs in USB-C straight to your computer, PC or Mac. It will recognize straight away. It is a well-known brand, and it's a very well-made camera. Now, the thing I love about the OBSpot, let's come back to me, is, and this worked good, is that they're always updating it. They're keeping it well up to date, firmware and software. As I said, it's my favorite camera as far as the applications that you can put this to are outweigh the ones of the static. I'm going to call the Brios and the C920s, etc., static cameras. The OBSpots, both the tiny and the 4K, are active cameras. They follow you around. Yeah, you can do all sorts of things. If I want on the fly, I could actually zoom in right now. Yeah, to me. In fact, I'm going to do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to save that as a preset. Okay, so the presets I've got now are the garden. I haven't broken it. Out into the garden, it's 66 degrees outside today. Back to the desktop, second preset, and this is live, that's me. Okay, and you can see my gimbal down there, if you're wondering what that is. I can actually zoom in. and get closer to, if I go here and here, get closer to the other spot tiny, just go up a bit. So you've got a better view of it. I say lens, camera body, twin axis gimbal, and you can either have it on your desktop or you can have it on a tripod. And there is a tripod down in the carousel that you can actually use, which I use. Okay, so the tripod is down in the carousel. So that is coming back here. Those are the two other spots that are in the carousel today. The other spot, tiny 4K, and the second one, I've got a comment coming in. Thank you for the comment. I shall be with you in a second. So we've got the other spot tiny 4K, and we've got the other spot tiny. Both are down in the carousel. And comment coming. How hard is it to keep track of two other spots at the same time? Normally, it's not a problem. I can show you. Okay. Thank you for the question. And the question came in on Amazon. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen. Okay. And I'm going to bring in the software. Okay. Share. Okay. So this is the software. You go to obslot.com, download this software, which is the software that you see here. Okay. And what you can see, I got a second comment coming in. That message was from Chuck. Okay, thank you. Okay. Thanks, Chuck. Good to see you again. And over here, I'm going to switch that off solo so that I'm next to the camera. You don't want two of me, do you? You don't want two of me. I'm going to hide one of me. Okay. So I'm going to put the software side by side. And let's just change things up. If I do this. Okay, and I'm just going to change things up. Just give me a second to collect my thoughts. And I prefer to be on this side of the camera. Okay, I'm happy now. Okay, so the question is from Chuck is how hard is it to keep track of two ob spots? Not at all. It's not difficult at all. As you can see, if we look at the software, what you've actually got. If I go this way around and take the comment off. Okay, if you look at the software, it's controlling camera 1 and camera 2. I just click on, I can switch between the cameras 1 and 2. They both have the same controls. So if I go on camera 1, which is the one we're looking at, I can switch from me to the desktop just by clicking the desktop button. I can go to the garden by clicking the garden button, and I can come back to me. So all those, just simple and easy. If I go back to the garden again, then I can zoom out. So you can see you looking through the office window, and then I can zoom back in again, 4 times zoom on the 4K, and then come back to me. So controlling the cameras, you've got one set of controls and you just click between the cameras. If I want to switch this camera off, I just press sleep. Okay, and it says the camera is disconnected, which it is, and then I can bring it back and I shall come back. Yeah, and I've got total control of exactly how the camera is operating. So that's it. Beautiful piece of software, easy to use. There are additional facilities which you can, if I move over here, there's the software and firmware version, both up to date. Auto sleep, you can either have it on or off. The gestures, which I'll talk about in a minute. Tracking mode, I've got it on headroom mode. It could be on standard, which is just to film me as I am. Headroom mode, give me headroom at the top of each image. Screen mode, this camera can go landscape or portrait. I suppose this is a very important point. Both cameras can be either landscape or portrait. So that's Facebook versus Instagram. You can set an initial position, and as we said earlier, you can have noise reduction. And Chuck's saying, great. Most welcome, Chuck. So one set of software to actually control both. You can have a remote control if you wish as well, if you don't want to be near the computer. And you can upgrade, do a firmware upgrade and restore factory settings. I don't think you can actually see that. But the thing about it is that this is the most fun I've had with a camera. It really is. Both of them. I got the Obsbot 1080, the tiny, back in January. I had so much fun getting used to it, how to use it. And then the 4K came out, and I thought, well, I know the camera's reliable. I'll get the 4K as well. So I've got two Obsbot cameras. I'm smitten with them. I don't mind admitting that, and they are well built, and they just keep updating the software. They look after us. There's an active Facebook group, and if you've got any tech questions, you can join the Facebook group, and the support is first class. If you ask a question in the Facebook group, you get an answer pretty well straight away. So that's the Obsbot, and we are Obsbot fans. You remember, Apple or Windows, it's Obsbot or not Obsbot. Okay, if once you've got one, you become an Obsbot fan, is all I'm saying. And you can have so much fun with them. I mean, on a Zoom call with an Obsbot, you could blow people away. You really, really could. Right, so those are the Obsbot cameras. Thank you for the question, Chuck. And thank you for joining me live today. Thank you to everybody who's watching. You are watching, just a reminder. Let's go over here. I'm going to click this link here, just a second. I go here. Your host is Stephen Healy from England. That's me. We're talking about live broadcasting with Logitech Brio, and we're going to look at the Samsung 22 mobile in a minute. Thank you for watching and spending part of your day with me. If you've unmuted, then thank you. If you haven't unmuted, you can't hear me. So I can, well, I'm going to be good. But if you are enjoying the broadcast, in fact, if you're enjoying any broadcast by any of the broadcasters on Amazon Live, there's over 2,000 of us, then please do follow, and then you can find us again. And following does mean a lot. It's probably the most effective thing you could do to actually help an independent broadcaster. We don't work for Amazon. We're not paid by Amazon. The reviews you actually get on here are independent reviews. If there's something wrong, I'll tell you. Okay, and I do own over 75% of the items in the carousel. So let's go back to my other camera. Okay, so I'm back on, let's just take that off. I'm back on Logitech Brio. I've got a problem with the Brio, just a minute. Let me go here. I am much too bright. Okay, that's because I've got the software. I was able to change the brightness. Okay, and over to Chuck, and Chuck is saying, I'll order this through your site. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Excellent. Excellent. Oh, wait a minute. I'm moving. No, I'm not moving. I'm shaking the floor. Okay, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Thank you. And that's my good friend Chuck. So if you want to help us, then just follow. If you're enjoying the broadcast, just press the follow button. And it looks good to Amazon, yeah, and we appreciate it. And we're here, everything in the carousel, you're paying either the normal Amazon price or better. If there's a special offer in the carousel, then I will tell you what it is. Okay, so I'm going to switch that off. Now, the thing I love about Amazon Live is that every show is different. I mean, I broadcast every day from 11 a.m. Eastern, and every time I come live, I think, wow, I'm on Amazon Live. I hope absolutely awesome. So I'm privileged to be here, and I do feel that. Now, next thing we're going to look at is down the carousel in a second. So give me a second, and I'm going to skip an item, and I'm going to come back here. Okay. Now, one of the things that we all have is a mobile phone, and I've always been a Samsung Android person. I've got my iPad, which I'm using to control this broadcast, but I'm a Samsung guy, Android guy. And when Samsung released this phone, which is, just a minute, I need to make a change. Just bear with me a second. Let me go here, which is apply a Samsung Galaxy Ultra S22 Ultra smartphone. This was released. I bought it. Okay, it came out in February 2022. This is the flagship Samsung phone. It's the first time I've ever had a flagship phone, and I'm so pleased with it. What I'm going to do, in actual fact, is I'm going to switch it on. Okay, fingerprint recognition. I'm going to go to my account on Facebook. Just a minute. Okay, so I'm going to my account on Facebook. There's my account on Facebook, just to show that I'm using this phone live. And the first thing about it is, this is on 4G at the moment, is the speed of the scroll and the response is just, I could go a lot faster than that. Okay, but if I go here, one of the things I do love about this phone, and I'm going to go here, as well as being live on Amazon Live, I'm actually live on Facebook as well. And this is where you can see, this is a display on Facebook. The display on the S22 Ultra is amazing. I'm trying to hold that straight. Now, we will get picture-in-picture in a moment, but that's the display on the Samsung Galaxy Ultra S22. This is the phone, and that was me there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shrink me and come back to telling the story. So Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra is the name. It's either 256 gig or 512 gig. Okay, you've got choices. My friend Guy's got the 512. This is the 256. It has an amazing 8K camera and can shoot 8K images, photos, and 8K video. Now I'm going to show you an 8K video in a minute, because I can talk to them. Well, I blab for Britain, yeah, and I can talk about this. Set me going, I'll just talk about it. But I'm going to show you some photographs taken with this, and I'm going to show you a video as well. Okay, it's got the brightest display that Samsung have ever produced. Now, I can attest to that. I know you won't believe me. If I go here and I go here, yesterday, I know it's breezy today. Yesterday was brilliant sunshine, and I was sat outside with the phone, and in the brightest sunshine, I could actually see this display. Now, do you remember the Samsung Galaxy Note? I probably do. Do you remember the Samsung Galaxy Note, holds phone right side up, had this? Just a minute. An S Pen. Okay, so the S22 has an S Pen. The S Pen is back. And I can go here and just a minute. I can write hello Amazon. Simple and straightforward. There are 7 different apps. Okay, just a minute. And Chuck is with us today. So hello Amazon and Chuck. Well, Amazon including Chuck. I just wrote that quickly. With the S Pen, you've got 7 apps actually built into and delivered to you straight away. You can obviously use it to actually control. If I go here and I go here, just a minute, you can obviously use it to actually control the phone. Yeah. If I go here and I go here, then I can just quickly zap over. You've got total control. But the other thing is that this S Pen has air gestures. And if you set the camera here, set it up for a photograph, you can actually hit the button using an air gesture. So you don't have to be touching the camera to take the shot. You can take the shot with your S Pen. Okay, I've been spammed. Okay, I want to give Aman, don't spam. It's bad manners. It really is. And if you posted that on Amazon instead of on Facebook, I'm just saying. Okay, I will sort that out afterwards. Spam is well. Let's not talk about spam. Let's talk about the phone. It probably makes more sense. It's got a long battery life. Okay, I let this run down totally. I can recharge it in an hour using a brick. And when I say brick, people look, what's a brick? Well, this is a British brick. Okay, this is a fast charger from Ugreen. There is similar down in the carousel. Obviously, it doesn't look like this. It looks like an American plug, but that's my version. And I can recharge this phone from 0 to 100 inside 1 hour. So quick recharge. The charge, once you've got it in, will last between 24 and 40 hours, depending on how you use the phone. Okay, so it does have a long battery life. It has 8K super steady video. So you can use the phone to shoot 8K video. Now, 8K video is steady video because this has got a built-in stabilizer. 8K, and you've got super steady as well. Drop it down from 8K to 1080 and it is super steady. Add a gimbal and it's super steady. So I'll show you that in a second or two. But it's 8K video. Okay. Now, the next thing about this phone is that it's got nightography, and I'll show you a nightography photograph in a moment. Nightography means taking photographs at night, and with the Samsung Galaxy S22, which is here, the Ultra, then it's simple and straightforward to do, and the camera can see things that we can't. I'll show you an example of that. Now, as far as the lenses are concerned, the rear lens, 108 megapixel, 3 times zoom and 10 times zoom, and it's amazing how quick the zoom operates. We talked earlier about being able to read the phone in bright sunlight. That's because it's got adaptive color contrast, and it does say it's got a long battery life plus fast charging. Fast charging with the unit I just shown you. There's one down in the carousel. It has, as we've seen, the embedded S Pen, which is here. The thing I like is that if I take the phone out of the room and leave the S Pen behind, I get a message on the phone saying, "You've left your S Pen behind," which means I can come back and get it, which means I shouldn't use it, but I am glad that they actually sell spares. The phone itself is unlocked by Samsung and it is dual SIM. Okay, so you can get 2 SIM cards in there, 2 phone numbers. Dual SIM. It is 6.8 inches deep. It's WQ high definition screen, edge screen. We talked about the adaptive refresh rate before. It's 120 hertz down to 1. And we took charging wise, if you've got 5,000 milliamps, you can do 45 watt charging. Wireless charging, 15 watts takes longer, and you can use a wireless. Now, the rear camera, 108 megapixels, front camera, 40 megapixels. The camera was released February 9th, 2022. So this is the flagship, 910. This is the flagship phone from Samsung. Now, I've given you the outline of the bullet points, but seeing's believing. So what I'm going to do now, I didn't mean to click the mouse then, is I'm going to bring a video on screen, okay, which wasn't released on February 9th. Just a minute. Okay. I've got a video on screen. I'm going to take it off full screen so that I can stop sharing that. So that will disappear. And I'm going to hide that camera, switch this camera on. Okay, the video I'm about to show you was taken with the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra and the gimbal. This is the Courts Garden. It's in Wiltshire, about half an hour from where I live. It is in fact a former industrial estate, which went into factory closed down, went into private hands. It was developed as a garden estate by its owners and then given to the National Trust. That's the backstory. These are the gardens. This is the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra taking video. At the Courts Garden, and just had lunch. And the thing about the Courts Garden is it's a beautiful place to actually stroll around and just enjoy the gardens. So I'm just going to walk around, and I am using my Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra and my new DJI OM5 gimbal. I've got the internal microphone on the Samsung, so no external mic. I'll try an external mic next time, but it's just so beautiful today. It's about 28 degrees, and I'm just going to try something here, because if I do this, I should be able to change the view. Okay, that's not what I wanted. I'm going to come down again. It's actually stuck, isn't it? Wait a minute. Let's adjust this. This is just a trial. Okay, so I'm going to go like that, or like that, or like that. I've got to be able to see what's on the screen, so I can see what's on the screen. And just wondering how steady this is. This is better than actually holding the phone. It's a lot easier to actually grip the gimbal than it is to actually grip the phone, so this is a win. But there's so many things this gimbal can do, and I really haven't learnt half of them, or even a quarter of them. But let's look at the borders, and there are people here today. Car park was full, but I don't think everybody actually came over here. But there's just flowers here in full bloom. We are at the beginning of August, first week in August, and the grounds here are just absolutely stunning. Now, the other thing that's important this year is that I've got my new eyes, which means that this year I can actually see clearly where I'm going. That's the entrance over there, where you come in, and then you led into the gardens. There's a cafe just around the corner, and everywhere there are places to actually sit down. Angelica's sat down at the moment while I'm taking this video. But if I try and walk a bit faster, the other thing that they said is that you can use this gimbal as a stand, and if you get the Mimo software, it will actually track you. I'm going to put that one to the test, but for today we're just checking the stability and the beauty, which is Courts Garden in Wiltshire. Back. That was the Courts Garden shot with the Samsung Galaxy S22 using the gimbal, which is down the carousel. I'm just going to click on the phone and log in, and hopefully if I go here, just give me a second, and I just want to increase the volume. Second, it stopped. And Chuck is with us today, so hello, and Chuck. Well, I was including Chuck. I just wrote that quickly. I'm just waiting for this to catch up. With the S Pen, you got 7 amps. Okay, it seems to be. It seems to be straight away. It seems to be broadcasting prior. Right, I hope you can hear me. If you can hear me, please do say we can hear you, and that would be very helpful, because the thing about this is that the feed is 20 seconds behind me, so I'm hoping now. That was the Courts Garden shot with. Whoa, panic over. One of the things is when you play a video, occasionally you lose sound, and I don't know I've lost sound, and you don't know that I haven't lost sound, because not everybody's unmuted me. The button in the middle, so you can actually hear what I'm saying. But I just love the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. It is my favorite phone. It's the best phone I've ever had. It does everything you expect of a phone, including taking and receiving phone calls, and playing Amazon Music and playing Spotify, and it's absolutely brilliant. and it works exceedingly well with a gimbal, as you've just seen. Now, I'm just going to continue the story, because if I hide that video, just let me hide the video, and I'm going to stay on camera this time. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up this on screen. Okay, and if I come over here and I go picture in picture, what I'm going to show you is some photographs taken with, just a minute. Okay, Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. These are photographs actually taken with the phone. Now, I'm not the world's best photographer, yeah, but these are samples of images. Okay, so let's start. This first image we're at Birdland, which is in England. It's in the centre of England, in the Cotswolds, Bourton on the Water, and it is a wildfowl park, 140 different species of bird, and I was able to get closer to flamingos and get this shot. So this is zooming in with the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra back in July, and it brought out this photograph. So in terms of photograph quality, well, I'll let you judge, but I'm happy with all the images I'm about to show you. At the Birdland also had penguins. You can see 6 penguins in this photograph, 5 of whom are asleep. This is about a couple of hours before they get fed. And what can I say? This, again, I was about 30 foot away, and I just zoomed in, and automatically I got that shot. This is my partner Angelica on the same day at Birdland. You can see the flamingos in the background. Angelica and I have been together for 10.5 years. Angelica is a German language tutor, and we live in Devizes in England. Sorry, I told Angelica she's in the carousel of photos. Now, we've got a garden at the back, and the garden where these flowers are now, in actual fact, was a tree which was decaying, unfortunately. So a tree surgeon came along, chopped down the tree. Now, this is a true story. This is a wild garden. We've been told in the UK to be bee friendly. In other words, to plant flowers which have got lots of pollen on them. And you get sent these packets, and not always on the white packets does it say what it is. So over the years, Angelica had collected quite a number of seed packets. She emptied all of them into a biscuit tin, shook them up, and then just scattered them on the ground. And this is the result. And this is how it looked a couple of weeks later. Yeah, magnificent color display. This shot, panoramic shot, is of the Crammer in Devizes. This is about 5 minutes from where I live. You can see the leftmost tree is in front of the church, and then you've got this man-made pond. It's home to Canadian geese, mallard ducks, swans, pigeons, well, you name it. It actually comes and flies into Devizes, and they spend their time at the Crammer before flying on somewhere else. And it's a great place to sit down in the summer and in spring and in autumn. This is the high street to where I live. I love the composition of this. You've got the cars on the left-hand side, the no parking double yellow lines, and then you've got the goods outside the shop. If you've got the photograph, you can actually zoom in on the photograph, because it's an 8K photograph reduced to 720 now. You can actually see the people standing at the top of the picture. Next picture is, now I mentioned a moment ago nightography and the nightography lens on the Samsung Galaxy S22. This photograph was taken at 11 o'clock at night, and it was pitch black. The camera, however, courtesy of the lights which are on the wall, was able to pick up this image. I couldn't see a thing, and it picked up this image. And the next photograph, last one, we've just had the Commonwealth Games in England, in Birmingham, and this baton, Queen's baton went around the world to every single Commonwealth country. Think of the West Indies, Canada, Australia, and then it came to Devizes 500 people got up at 7:30 in the morning to greet it. And then it went on to Stonehenge. And this is a very special photograph because the Shire horse there is one of 4 Shire horses who Monday through Friday work. And they work for the local brewery, delivering cask ale to local pubs. But at the moment, that horse and her friends are actually out to pasture because in August, the horses don't need to work. They get a month's holiday and they're sent off to pasture. So those are photographs taken with the Samsung Galaxy S22. And that concludes my section on the Samsung Galaxy S22. Now, the big thing that you need to know is that today it's 11/70/18, which is 10% off. So you can save $100 if you click link in the carousel and you buy using, well, I mean, click link. If you buy it, then you'll have a camera, a beautiful camera capable of great video and pictures, which I've shown you. Because I can talk, but I recently showed a video and the image was taken. I'm impressed by the quality. So we have been talking about the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra smartphone, which is down in the carousel at a discount. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to do, if I go back here, we're going to speed things up a bit. I think we should speed things up a bit. What do you think? What I'm going to do is go down here and go to, I can find it. It's just a long, I mean, I've been on Amazon Live now for a year, and it's about time I redid all my menus. What we're going to do is 10 carousel items in 30 minutes. So if you stick with me, you will see 10 different carousel items, most of which I own. Yeah. And I'm going to talk about them. And if you've got any questions, then please do ask. As Chuck did earlier, if you ask, yeah, and that's Chuck Trice, my good friend. If you ask, then I will try and answer your question. And the question Chuck asked earlier was, how hard is it to keep 2 Osbots running at the same time? And we explained exactly. It's easy and straightforward, really. Okay, so 10 carousel items in 30 minutes. So let's go. All right, I'm going to go back to the beginning. Now, if you look at the carousel down below, the first item in the carousel is the featured item. It's the one I'm talking about. So the first item was the Logitech Brio. You're watching the Logitech Brio now. It's on discount today. It is 35% off. It's $130.94. I've had the camera for 2 years. It's very reliable. It does 4K to YouTube with OBS, and it's a workhorse, and it's a very reliable camera. It's great for Zoom, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. The second camera we talked about was the Osbot Tiny, which is also on discount. It's 15% off today, $169 as opposed to $199. Hopefully, I've demonstrated what fun the cameras are. And if you have had fun watching, then please do follow. Yeah. I don't get your details, but Amazon do, and they may tell you when I'm next live. Right, so Osbots are so much fun. Now, the next item in the carousel I haven't shown you before, but I have, and I haven't. When you're taking video with your mobile phone, yeah, this mobile phone, Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. Just a minute, I've got a distraction in my studio. When you're taking video with the Samsung S22, yeah, basically there are 2 things that bother you. One, you don't want to drop the phone. And 2, unfortunately, when you're walking, you go up and down. And as you go up and down, the phone goes up and down. So if you're shooting mobile video, what you need is a gimbal. And the DJI OM5, which is down the carousel at the moment, is the best gimbal I've had. Okay, now it's got a carry case, DJI, official DJI. This is the OM5, and if I unlock it and go like this, that's the gimbal. Okay, now that's the first stage, just unlocking it. So it locks so you can't do things by accident, which in my case is a good idea. Then the second thing you do is you go into, just a minute, I've got stuff all over the place. The second thing you do is to go into the bag and take out the clamp. Now, note the camera is still in its case. Yeah, you don't need to take the case off. All you need to do is put the magnetic clamp onto the case, which normally takes a second. You put the clamp about halfway down on the phone. Okay, that's a magnet. This is a magnet. You put the phone onto the gimbal, yeah, like that. Okay, and then all you need to do is to make sure you've got everything the right way around. Get your fingers out the way. Press the on button for 2 seconds. And the gimbal bursts into life and is ready to use. And that's how easy it is to actually use a gimbal. Now, the benefits of using a gimbal, just a second. I'm trying to do something. Right. I've done 2 demonstrations today. They've not gone quite right, but that's it. Okay. The phone is secure on the gimbal, so you're not going to drop it. It's a lot easier to handle the gimbal than it is to hold the phone in your hand. And because it's on a gimbal, it will be super straight. Yeah. It's not going to go up and down. The gimbal stops it going up and down. So you can shoot video using the gimbal with ease. Yeah, you're not going to have a problem. It won't drop because it's on the magnetic thing, and it's going to be able to shoot straight. And the only thing you've got to be aware of, I'll just switch it off again. Just give me a second. This is a second try. Okay, when you demonstrate in live, which I am, okay, none of this is pre-recorded, by the way. When you're demonstrating live, then occasionally what you plan to do will not go perfectly. And at that point, what you have to do is not panic. Just carry on talking as though nothing at all has gone wrong. And just grimace once or twice if you've got problems. But I think we're good to go now. Just a second. I just want to press a button. Okay. We'll try again, shall we? I'm going to open the lens. And this is how you put the phone. I always get it. The phone goes on the gimbal. Okay, just a second. So the phone is on the gimbal, and I'm keeping hold of it in case I do this totally wrong. And then you just switch the gimbal on. Just a second. You switch the gimbal on. Okay. Okay, we're almost there. And there we are. It's twirling round and round. Just a second. Next time I demonstrate this, I'll be perfect. I've only had it 3 or 4 days, so bear with me. But I do have the DJI OM5 gimbal. I did shoot the video of the quartz garden that we saw earlier. It is a very good gimbal. It's very lightweight. And if I take the phone off, to dismantle it is easy enough. Take the phone off, take the bracket off the phone. I can probably dismantle it quicker and put it together. There's the bracket. And I'm going to gimbal's off. And I'm going to put the gimbal back. Okay, into position. I'm going to lock it. That's that. But I'm not finished. Don't go anywhere, because the gimbal comes with a tripod, and you can screw, this is going to go better. You can screw the tripod into the gimbal. You can then put it on a solid surface, and there is software to come with the gimbal. It's called Mimo, And the Mimo gives this gimbal tracking capabilities. So you can put this down on a solid surface and then it will track you. I'll give you an example of that when I've tried it, but bear with me. That is the best gimbal I've ever had, and it's down in the carousel. And thank you for watching. I'm going to take it to bits again. Okay, so let's unscrew there, put that back in there. Okay, just a reminder, I can take that off now. I can go over here. If I go here, oh, that's the wrong button. We've not got snow at the moment, thank goodness. It was 95 degrees the other day, 65 today. But I'm going to switch the snow off, switch the followers off, and just put the sticky notes on. You're watching, your host is Stephen Healy, that's me, live from England. We're talking about live broadcasting, everything to do with live broadcasting. We looked at Logitech Brio and the Samsung S22 mobile. I want to say a big thank you for actually watching live. And if you've got any questions, like Chuck had questions earlier, then please do ask. Okay, and basically, let's carry on now. The next item in the carousel is the lapel microphone. When you're shooting video on your mobile phone, then you can use the internal microphone. And you heard the internal microphone earlier. The one on the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra is good, is quite good. But to get the best quality, this is the difference, yeah, between doing a video, a home movie for the family, and actually doing a video that you can put on YouTube, which people will watch. Sound makes all the difference. With today's cameras, we've seen that the camera there is 8K, so you're not going to get better quality as far as the camera is concerned. You can get better sound if you use the Power Device lapel microphone, which is down in the carousel. Now, a lapel microphone, like the Power Device, I'll just put that back there. Let's just, I've got it, Power Device. On the back of this, it says, words can change lives, record them perfectly. And this microphone does. This microphone I've been using now for 2 years. My videos are on YouTube. They're all about Stonehenge, about Avebury, about Salisbury, about everywhere that Angelica and I visited. He's talking about country houses, castles, and national monuments. This is a lapel microphone. The microphone's got a cover on it, but the lapel microphone is just so simple and straightforward. What you actually do is it's got a crocodile clip. You attach the crocodile clip to your clothing, like so. I think that's enough. And there it is. It's a bit dark, but that's the crocodile clip in place. Okay, that's the first thing you do. And the second thing that you do,
I don't know that.
I've got ALEXA broadcasting with me today. All right. Okay, second thing you do is you take your mobile phone and you plug the lapel microphone into your mobile phone. Except there's a problem. Okay, this is a Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. Like the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 13, it doesn't have an audio socket. Down in the carousel, if you surf along a little bit, you will find this widget. Okay, this is a 3.5mm to USB-C connector. And I take my lapel microphone audio lead, I plug that in there, connecting the extension. Okay, and then I can plug that into the USB socket on my phone, and that's it. The lapel microphone is now connected to the mobile phone. This works for most mobile phones. If you don't have a socket, an audio socket on your phone, the widget down the carousel, just scroll along, you'll find the widget. It's $8 or less than $8. I'm just covering myself. And it allows you to connect your, I mean, the thing is, I love my Power Device lapel microphone. I'm not giving it up. Eventually I will go wireless, but for the moment I want wired, and I want to use my favorite microphone with my favorite new mobile phone. I can, and it cost me $8 to do it. The thing is, when you connect the microphone to the mobile phone, it cuts out the internal mic. So the mic that's being used is the one that's actually attached to you. Now, the thing about one that is there, sort of, yeah, is that you are absorbing all the sound around you. You are your own acoustic chamber. And it means that the first voice that's heard when you do a recording is yours. Okay. You can have crowds around you, but and this is it. When I do a mobile video, I go to Stonehenge, Avebury, what have you. What I'm actually doing is I'm doing a voiceover. And in order for my voiceover to be heard, I have to use the lapel microphone. Otherwise, if I was in a city or even worse, in a busy place, say, then my voice would not be heard. Okay, so that is the lapel microphone. It's down in the carousel. The thing is, though, just unplugging it from the phone. The thing is that whilst I'm suggesting that you use this lapel microphone with the mobile phone, it does have several uses. Okay, if you get this, if you're looking for your first ever external microphone, you can do worse than this. This at $35 will plug into your PC and Mac, and it will give you acceptable sound. Remember, people are watching my videos on YouTube recorded with this mic, so it's got to be good. Otherwise, they wouldn't watch. You can plug this directly into your PC or Mac and use this as an external microphone. The other thing is, I am a Udemy teacher. Udemy are the world's largest online course provider. And I've got 15,000 students, and I've made 12 courses on Udemy, all about live broadcasting. I'm about to make a new course based on my experiences in the last 12 months. And Udemy said, we need good video and we need good sound. Now, if you're paying $50 for a Udemy course to get lifetime access, then you want good quality sound too. So sound is important. And they said you've got a choice. As an instructor on Udemy, you can either soundproof your office or you can spend $35 on a lapel microphone. And I got the one that at the time that Udemy recommended. This is 5 years ago. And every video I've done on Udemy has used this lapel microphone. Okay, let's put that down. My office is getting a bit of a mess at the moment, but let's go back. And thank you for watching me live. I do appreciate you spending your time. We've talked a lot about the item in the carousel at the moment, which is the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. And I'm just going to go over here. And if I go here, you know that this is my favoritist mobile phone ever. 8K video, 256 gig, 8K video, brightest display that Samsung ever had. It's got an S Pen. It's got a long battery life. It does 8K super steady video. It's got nightography. I showed you a nightography photo earlier. 108 megapixel front camera, 40 megapixel back camera, and it's a quality piece of kit. Okay. OBSBOT. We've talked about OBSBOT. OBSBOT's my favorite camera, favorite action camera. The Brio and the Elgato face cam and everything else are static, sit there and they can see at 90 degrees, but they don't move. The OBSBOT cameras are on a gimbal, and earlier today, after my demonstration, Chuck said, just let me show this. Chuck said he's going to order it. There you go. Thank you, Chuck. So that's the OBSBOT camera. I've got two OBSBOT cameras. I've got the original 1080p. I've got the 4K. They have 3 preset positions. Because they're on a twin-axis gimbal, they can go from A to B to C. They have AI tracking, signal to start following, signal to stop following. They will track you as you move around your office or around the room. They are just the next step in cameras, and I've heard them being recommended as cameras for Zoom, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. So that's the OBSBOT. The next camera I've not shown you, and that's my ideal first camera. Down in the carousel at the moment is the Logitech C920x. Okay. This is the Logitech C920x. This here. Okay. Let me get it in the right hand. Am I mirrored for some reason? Just a second. I just want to check something. No, I'm not mirrored. Okay. Let's go to my cheat sheet. And we're going to go to Logitech C920x. This is Logitech C920x. It's down the carousel, $69. It is the ideal first camera. If you're just starting to use Zoom or Facebook or YouTube and Twitter and Twitch, Logitech, based in Switzerland and America. Yeah. Ideal first camera. Great as a gift for yourself or for a friend or for family. The camera is like this. You just open it up and you can put it on top of your monitor or on top of your computer, PC or Mac. If you want to put it on a tripod, you can use the thread underneath and put it on a tripod, so it's versatile. The X stands for extra. I'm going to show you the extra in a moment. It's full height, full HD, okay, 1080p, 30 FPS, and it's got clear stereo audio, twin mics, HD light correction, and advanced software we talked earlier. Okay, and I'm going to take that off. It's got a 78-degree field of view. Okay, now, what I'm going to tell you about now is the extra. Just let me find something. Okay, I'm going to put this video full screen. The extra is that it comes with 3 months of XSplit VCam. Now, I've been using XSplit VCam since January 2019. It is background removal software of the highest order for PC. And basically, it can remove your background. Now, the short video I'm going to show you, which is about 2 minutes long, will actually give you an idea of how background removal works, any background removal software. But with the Logitech C920x, you're not just getting the camera, you're getting 3 months of the software. Let's go to the video. I'm going to switch my mic off. I'll be back in 2. When I switch my mic off, I'll be back in 2. Is Butcher in England, and I'm here to give you an overview of XSplit VCam, how it works. Background removal tool I've been using since January 2019, and it just keeps getting better and better. Now, the image behind me is one of Salisbury Cathedral, and the acid test of any background removal tool is that you still have 10 fingers with little webbing between them. Okay, so that test passed. Second is the outline of your body. Those are the things to look for when you're looking at a green screen, the ability to actually move about. So let's take a look at the software itself. And this is the XSplit VCam program. Okay, now you notice the top there, it says original. This is me. This is also me. So this is how I look normally. Now, first stage is to actually remove the background. So let's remove the background by pressing a button, and I get background's gone. Okay, prove that if I go here, background has disappeared. Okay, so the next step is to select a background to go in place, and you can do that just by clicking an image. You'll get a different background. Okay, that's it. That's very colorful. Now, just a warning, you need to make sure that the image at the top is not too light. Okay, what you don't want is to have an image too light at the top. If you try it, you'll see what I mean. Okay, now XSplit VCam is an external program which you download from XSplit, and it sits on your computer and you can use it in this way. Okay, so over to one of my favorite backgrounds. So I'm just switching background. Now, if I go to here, you can actually see that I can get backgrounds from several sources. I can upload a media file. Okay, and I'm going to upload a media file. I'm going to go on my hard drive to artwork and to reduced. Okay, and I'm going to bring up this image, and that's it. That's how easy it is to take an image from your hard drive and bring it on screen. Second thing you can do, is that you can, in addition to taking an image from your hard drive, you can use a YouTube video as your backdrop. Now, whilst I'm doing this, I'm just on my mobile phone. Just a minute. And you can see that we're live on Facebook as well as being live on Amazon Live. And that's the quality of the image. But it is 20 seconds behind me live in the studio. So I'm just waiting for one thing, and one thing only, is for that video to catch up to here and me to press the button. Right, okay. One of the problems I have with live broadcasting is that I'm still live on the Samsung Galaxy S22 there. One of the problems I have is that occasionally I lose sound after I played a video. So that's why I do a sound check, which takes 20 seconds, but it's worth it. And it just means that I know you can hear me, which is important. So that's the Logitech, and the software. You can play YouTube video behind you. Okay, you won't get the sound, but you will get the video. You can upload an image. You can play a YouTube video. You can use a web page as your background. Any web page is public. You can use it, or you can go to unsplash.com. Unsplash.com is where photographers from around the world send their best photographs, and we can download them for free. If you go to and use them as backgrounds for free, if you go to unsplash.com and you type in Paris, Texas in the search engine, you'll get images from Paris, Texas. If you type in Paris, France, you're more likely to get pictures of the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, and everything French. It's searchable. And when you find an image, I've got about 80 of them in my Expert VCam. You can just use it anytime you want. But what I do is I always send out a tweet saying thank you. I think that's only fair. So that basically is the camera that's down in the carousel, which is the Logitech C920x, which is $69.99. And you've got, just to confirm, you've got a 3-month license of Expert VCam. In addition to that, just to make clear, I've had this Logitech C920 for 7 years. It's never given me a problem. It still works. It lives on top of my monitor over behind me on my second PC. It's just so reliable. It's a great gift for somebody. First camera, Logitech C920, and you can give them 3 months use of Expert VCam background removal. So that's a win-win situation. Right, back to the carousel again. Now, we showed a moment ago, I showed quite a bit, is the Samsung Galaxy S22. Okay, what's the first thing you do when you buy a mobile phone? You buy a case. And down the carousel at the moment is the case for the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, because this is 6.8 inches deep. The case that's in the carousel is specifically made for this phone. It's got reinforced corners. It's got a lens cover, which just clicks into place. It is patterned. So if you're holding the phone, it's patterned on the edge. So it's not like to slide out of your hand. And if you click the link in the carousel now to this case, you'll find a case for your phone. I'm more than happy with this. It's $15.99, and it means that should I ever drop this phone, in all likelihood, the phone will be safe. Okay, but we do need a cover for our phones. It's the first thing I do when I buy a new phone. Okay, so that's the one I'm using now. If I go here, one thing that's down in the carousel, which I do want to mention, if I go and switch this camera on, is, okay, well, we have been busy. Let's hide the photographs. These are photographs taken with the Samsung Galaxy S22, and there is the night, that was the nightography one. S22 takes photos and they look as though it's daylight, so we can remove that. We've seen the video. I'm going to remove it. I'm going to hide. Right, that's what happened before. I know what I've done now. I know what I did. Okay, this is looking outside, but I don't want to look outside. What I actually want to do is look here to the desktop. Now, what I'm going to try and do, down the carousel at the moment is a stand, and it's a Lamical stand. I'm just putting something away. Just give me a second. While I put this back in its case, it takes me a while to tidy up after each Amazon Live. I enjoy them so much, but I get through so many things that I do have to tidy. So it makes a change to tidy as we're going along. Here is the phone. I'll put that over there. And this is the stand that the phone is on. And it's down the carousel at the moment. This is the Lamical phone stand. And as you can see, it takes larger phones. You can adjust the angle like so. I'll do that again. You can adjust the angle. You can adjust the height. Quite simple. It's a very, I love Lamical designs. Yeah, I bought a Lamical 3 years ago. And this is another Lamical. I've got to say thank you though. This is one of 3 products that are on the carousel that were sent, and this was sent by Lamical. So thank you to Lamical, but I love it. I use it every day. I put my phone on there. I use the S Pen to actually control the phone, and it's a good partnership. So if you're looking for a stand that will take a larger mobile phone, and we're talking here about the iPhone 12, the iPhone 13, the Galaxy S21, S22, then that stand is a good choice. Okay, so I'm going to set that up. I'm going to come back over here, and we're going to go to the next item. I talked about this earlier. In the carousel is the Ugreen 30-watt charger. I told you that I had, from Ugreen, I had the British version. This is for charging any phone, well, any Android phone very, very quickly. It saves you hours because I can charge my phone in an hour from 0 to 100% using this unit. Saves time, saves money, works well. Okay, so that's that. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to talk about, you remember right at the beginning, I said that this broadcast was lights, camera, action. And we now got to the action part of the broadcast. I'm just going to close a tab. Yeah. And I need to open another tab. I need a few seconds to set this up. If worth it, just let me set this up. Okay, this is the action part of the show. No, I'm not going to sing. No, I'm not going to dance. I won't do any of those things. What I will do is show you something which I've been using for the last 8 years, which basically keeps me fit. And that's a subtle hint. Okay, and okay, right. I'm going to do a screen share. Just let me set this up and then we're ready to go. Okay, what we're talking about now, if I go to screen share, is that we're going to talk about item. I'll give you another clue. I put it on in the morning and I take it off at night before I go to bed. You're right. It's a Fitbit. This is a Fitbit. This is the HR Inspire 2, which is down in the carousel. And Fitbit has changed my life. This is how I keep fit. It's a very simple unit. Now, at this point, I should say that this is my 4th Fitbit. I get a new one every 2 years because they update the technology. The job of a Fitbit is to measure your steps. Now, if you do 2,000 steps, that's a mile. 8,000 steps is 4 miles. I try and do 8,000 steps a day. And that keeps me fit. I'll explain why in a minute. But this is the Fitbit itself. This is the default strap. You can get designer straps to go with your Fitbit. The central bit is a lozenge. And what a lozenge does is it tracks how many steps you do in a day. That, though, is just the start of the story. Now, this unit, which is on the carousel today at $68.95, which is 31% off. So it's a great saving. If you click the link in the carousel, you get a 31% discount. This unit is not a subscription. No subscription. You buy the unit and you've got the unit, and everything I'm about to show you is totally free. So Fitbit have a website. This is Fitbit's website. This is my personal dashboard on Fitbit, and I'm going to share it with you. Okay, I'm going to take that card off. I'm going to switch that camera off, and I'm going to go picture in picture. So everything I'm going to show you now is free. I can't emphasize that too much. These are the benefits of actually owning a Fitbit. Now, the thing about doing exercise is that we all start off with the best of intentions, supported by family. And we say we're going to walk 3-4 miles a day. And we do for the first couple of months of the year, and then we taper off. So that's the first thing. If you are a member of the Fitbit community, consider community there. Yeah, that's the community. You're part of a community of like-minded people, all of whom own Fitbits. And they want to stay fit by using their Fitbits. They want you to stay fit by using your Fitbit. And what happens is that you join the groups and you can get free advice on staying fit using a Fitbit. But every week there are challenges. There's a weekday challenge, Monday through Friday, and a weekend challenge, which is the weekend. Now, the idea is it's a ladder. And the person who does the most steps is at the top. And the person who does the least is at the bottom. Now, I am never going to be top. I try not to be bottom. I'm trying to be somewhere in the middle. But this is the magical thing. You meet people from around the world, all of whom want you to stay fit. And you want them to stay fit. It's a mutual support society. You make new friends on Fitbit.com. You cheer each other on. If I go out the door and go for a 3-mile walk and I'm in a challenge, somebody will message me or cheer for me. I've got an active support group, and it's free. It's organized by members for members. 2 challenges, weekday challenge, weekend challenge. Now, the next thing, if you wear your Fitbit when you sleep, yeah, it will measure your sleep. It will tell you when you're in dream sleep. It will tell you when you're in deep sleep. It will tell you when you're awake. And it is surprising how many times we actually wake up during the night. If you wear your Fitbit for 4 days, then it will give you suggestions what you can do to improve your sleep pattern. The next one says, what's the maximum number of steps you've done in a day? I'm just going to go full screen here. What's the maximum number of steps you've done in a day? And I can say, without fear of contradiction, that the maximum number of steps that I've done in a day is 60,000. And I did the 60,000 steps by walking a marathon. And that's walking from Avebury to Stonehenge, 26 miles, 385 yards, for which I got this medal. So 26 miles is, and I train using the Fitbit. This is what keeps me fit. The weekend before I do the marathon, I walk 12 miles. Fitbit measures the pace I'm doing, tells me everything I need to know, and then I can walk the 26 miles. I can get the medal. I don't get a chance to wear it very often, so excuse me. This is my medal, walking medal, and it's all down to Fitbit keeping me fit. I'm going to keep the medal on for a minute. Right, the next thing is that, again, this is for free. You can actually record your weight. Yeah, so you can keep a weight diary and you can track your weight basically for free on a regular basis, every day if you want, every week if you want, every month if you want. You can track your weight and keep a record of it. There is a mobile phone app, iOS and Android, you can actually use to actually track your weight. The other thing is the Fitbit is telling you the calories you've spent, the energy you've expended. There is also a comprehensive food diary, which works on the desktop or on mobile. So you can keep, for free, you can keep a food diary and record what you have for breakfast, what you have for lunch and dinner, and the snacks you have in between, how much water you've drunk. All of that you can record for free. You can have your own food diary linked into the major foods, and it's so simple and straightforward to actually keep a food diary and measure the calories out with Fitbit and the calories in with your diary. Now, the final bit of this, if I scroll down a bit, is that there's a more button here. Okay, and the Fitbit on your wrist is going to tell you how many steps you do in a day. The website, however, is tracking how many steps you've done in the week, month, or year. Okay, now it's saying there, and this is what I track. I track the number of miles I do in the last 12 months, and it says I've done 776 miles. My personal aim is to do 1,000 miles in a year, which means that I've got to up my game, but I'll do it using the Fitbit HR Inspire 2, which is down the carousel. Great way to keep fit. It keeps me on my toes. Ha! Pun. It keeps me on my toes. It is an amazing piece of kit from Fitbit, owned by Google, and it keeps us fit. Now, final note on this. This is great for personal use. Buy it for yourself. It is on discount today in the carousel. Join the community on Fitbit.com. Register so you've got your warranty. Get involved. Join the groups. There are major topic groups on Fitbit.com that you can free to join, run by members for members. And then also you've got the weekday and weekend challenges you can take part in. Now, you're your own master. But if you want to meet a group of friendly people, all of whom have but one aim, that's to keep fit with Fitbit, just join in. Just join in. And we've got people from around the world. It's just an amazing place to actually be part of. Also, it's Amazon Live is an amazing place to be part of too. I'm delighted to be broadcasting in Amazon Live. I'm very grateful for your company today. And if at any time you'd like to see me again, you can, if you wish. If I go here, you can follow me, okay? And then you see me again. You never lose me. I'll always be in your following tab up above. So please do follow. It's a win-win situation. I follow about 250 Amazon Live broadcasters. We don't work for Amazon. We're all independent. There are 6 of us in the UK. You watched one of them today. And okay, so do follow. And the other thing is over here, your host is Stephen Healy from England. It's my pleasure to be broadcasting to you today. I'm honoured to actually be on Amazon Live and to lead you through the items in the carousel, the things that I enjoy owning. I'm here to answer your questions. This is a free service from Amazon. It's in addition to everything else that Amazon does. I buy everything that I see in the carousel is from Amazon. We've been talking about live broadcasting. Live broadcasting is my life. I've been live broadcasting for the last 7 years. So if you have any techie questions, please do ask. We've looked at Logitech Brio and we've looked at the Samsung S22 mobile in some depth. And I want to say thank you for watching. I'm going to leave you with my grateful thanks, and I'll be back again. I'm back 11 a.m. every weekday. It's been my pleasure to broadcast you today. And I'm just going to play out. I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to play out with a video shot with the Samsung Galaxy S22. And if I go here, okay, this was shot with the phone, and this is just a peaceful way to end a live broadcast. See you all again soon. Bye for now. Right, that's only a short video. That was from Birdland, like the photographs were. This has been Stephen, live from Wiltshire, England. It's been my pleasure to broadcast live to you today. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I hope to see you all again soon. Goodbye for now. Bye.